Again, this is section 2-4. We are writing linear equations. In Algebra 1, we learned to write linear equations if we were given a point and a y-intercept, a slope and a y-intercept, a slope and a point, or if we were given two ordered pairs. And we're going to review that today. So you guys remember how to do this. We are going to use slope-intercept form to do this. Hopefully you remember that as well. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. In order to write an equation using this form, what two things do we have to have? Slope and a y-intercept. We have to have an m, a slope, and we have to have a b, a y-intercept. Sometimes they'll give us that information, sometimes we have to use the information they give us to find one or both. Let's start with this slide. It says to write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line. We're going to ignore where it says step 1, find the slope. So I'm giving you this graph. Obviously you don't have this graph. But just looking at it, could I find the slope just looking at it? Yes, we talked about this last Thursday, I believe, finding slope given a line. Didn't we use rise over run? So let's do that. We're going to find our slope using rise over run. So I'm going to pick out two good points. Let's see. Here's one, and here's one. So from one point, I'm going to rise 1, and I'm going to go to the left 1, 2, 3. When I go to the left 3, that makes my run a negative 3. Now, just looking at my graph, I can't pick out the y-intercept, can I? Because it's in between two dots, so I know it's going to be a fraction or a decimal. So please don't just guess. I want you to take another approach. Use one of your ordered pairs and your slope to help you find your y-intercept. So if I pick out one of these points, let's use that one right there. That point is at 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, comma 3. I can use my point, 2, 3, and my slope, negative 1/3, to help me find the y-intercept. So we know a y value, 3. We know m, our slope, negative 1/3. We know an x value, 2. I could solve that to figure out what b is. So let's start by substituting in for y, m, and x so we can find b. The y value is 3. M is negative 1/3. X is 2 plus b. Now negative 1/3 times 2 is negative 2/3, which is a repeating decimal, so please just leave it as a fraction. I'm going to add 2/3 to both sides. So b equals 3 2/3, which could be 11/3. Is 3 2/3 about right here? Do you think that's a good value? 1, 2, 3 2/3? I think so. Please leave it in fraction form, either as a mixed number or a proper fraction here. So now we can write the equation of our line. We have y equals, our slope is negative 1/3, x plus 11/3. Let's look at this one next. It says to write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line. So here I'm giving you a graph, and we want to write the equation of that line in slope-intercept form. To do that, we of course need an m and we need a b. I could find the slope of this line by using rise over run. They've again selected two nice points for me. They've actually helped me with my slope here. I'm going to go down 1, which makes my slope -1. I'm going to run to the right 1, 2, 3, 4 places. My slope is -1/4. Can I look at this graph and identify the y-intercept? Yes, this time I can. Where does my graph cross the y-axis at? -2. So there's b. I don't have to do any work to find b. It's there. It's given. So you have an m and you have a b. Please write your equation. Y equals -1/4 x minus 2. With this example, again, I'm giving you a graph. I want to know the equation of the line. So I want to find the slope and the y-intercept. So we'll find the slope together. I'm going to rise 1, 2. I'm going to run to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes it -6. What does 2 over -6 simplify to? -1/3. And please leave slope as a fraction. We don't want a decimal. Now the y-intercept, could I pick that out just looking at the graph? Yes. Where does it cross the y-axis at? 1, 2, 3. So my equation should be y equals -1/3 x plus 3. So you're going to have to look at your graph. It might be easy to pick out the slope and the y-intercept. Sometimes you might have to just use a point to help us find the y-intercept. If we have a graph, we can probably find the slope using rise over run. Okay, I want to introduce you to another method. I think in Algebra 1 we used slope-intercept form for everything, didn't we? But there actually is another option, and it's called point-slope form. And I mentioned it in Algebra 1, but we really didn't do much. I'm going to use, the formula is a little bit different back there. I think I'm going to use what's here on the board. I think it's going to make a little more sense. So it's going to be y minus y sub 1 equals m parentheses x minus x sub 1. What do you think m is? Slope. M is slope. So we have to write that down. M equals slope. X sub 1 and y sub 1 are going to be an ordered pair. Point slope form is really easy to use if you have, you'll never guess, a point and a slope. Just like the title suggests. If you have a point and a slope, it's pretty easy to use this formula. Okay? As long as you set and put it right back. So I just want to practice. I think you guys will like it. If you don't, you can always go back to slope-intercept. It's not a problem. So if you would copy down this slope, it's m equals -3/5, and the ordered pair 5, -2. Alright, so what I want you to do, let's use point slope form on this one. Let's just substitute in x and y, just the regular x and y. That one and that one, they're going to stay x and y, okay? We're not going to put anything in for those. So we have y minus, what is the y value of the ordered pair? -2, so minus a -2 equals m, -3/5, parentheses, x is going to stay x, minus x sub 1. Well, that came from my ordered pair, 5. To simplify this, y minus a -2, of course, it can become y plus 2. On the right-hand side, we can distribute. -3/5 times x is -3/5 x, and -3/5 times -5 is a positive 3. To put this in slope-intercept form, I need to subtract 2 from both sides. So y equals -3/5 x and 3 minus 2 is a positive 1. Do you guys like that one better than slope-intercept form? You think so? Some people really like slope-intercept form, and that's fine. You can keep doing it that way. Others like point-slope form, and I'm okay with you using it too. I don't care which method you use. There's a little more leeway in algebra 2. So this is our equation in slope-intercept form. Let's try another one. I'm going to use point-slope form one more time, and then we'll do one in slope-intercept form. So we have the ordered pair of 6, -2, and we have a slope of -4. We want to write an equation, and we want our equation to be in slope-intercept form eventually. Right? Well, let's start with point-slope form. Okay, so remember the regular x and the regular y are going to stay x and y. They're our variables. So we have y minus, y sub 1 is from the ordered pair, -2. Equals m, our slope, is -4, parentheses, remember x stays x, minus x sub 1 is 6. Okay, just simplify. We have y plus 2 there on the left. Oops. Equals, I'm going to distribute the -4 on the right. So -4x plus 24. We can subtract 2, so y equals -4x plus 22. So if you're somebody who doesn't necessarily like in this new form, let's try one with the old way, the slope-intercept form, and you can kind of make your call after this. So write an equation. This time we're going to use the point 23 and the slope of 1/2. Let's just jump right to slope-intercept form this time. We know in order to use this form, we have to have a slope and we have to have a y-intercept. We are given a slope, it's 1/2, but we don't know the y-intercept yet. We can use the ordered pair 2, 3 to help us. There's x, there's y. Now substitute it. 3 equals 1/2 times 2 plus b. What is half of 2? 1. Subtract 1 from both sides, so b is 2. So I'll write my equation as y equals 1/2 x plus 2. I don't want you to get the two confused. Slope-intercept form, you need a slope and a y-intercept. In point-slope form, you need a point and a slope, just as their titles suggest. Now, I don't care, like I said, which way you do it. All right, I've got a couple more. Let's try it with 2 ordered pairs. So if we have the ordered pairs 2, -3 and 2, -4. Well, if we want to write the equation, we know we're going to have to at least have a slope, aren't we? Whether we do slope-intercept form or point-slope form, it doesn't matter. So let's start by finding the slope. And I think you guys know we can use the slope formula. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So it's going to be -4 minus a -3 over 2 minus 2. I end up with -1 over 0, don't I? When you have 0 in the denominator, go ahead and divide on your calculator. Take -1 divided by 0. What does it tell you? Gives you an error, doesn't it? It's undefined if 0 is in the denominator. So I don't want you to say no solution. I want you to go ahead and write the equation. If we were to think about this a little bit further, I can't go any further, okay, because I can't write the equation with a slope that is undefined. So I'm going to have to find a different way to do this. If I was to plot these points, 2, negative 3, and 2, negative 4. Very good. Try that again. My line went off. It's going to be a vertical line at x equals 2, right? What would the equation of that line be? X equals 2. That's it. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Let's do one where we'll have an exact equation. Let's try this one. We have 2, negative 3, and negative 3, 7. Alright, so of course the first thing we have to do is find a slope. Doesn't matter if we want to use point slope form or slope intercept, we're going to have a slope first. So let's find our slope first. And we'll use that y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So I'm going to say 7 minus a negative 3 divided by negative 3 minus 2. So 10 over negative 5, which is negative 2. So at this point, this is where you can make your choice, whether you do point slope form or slope intercept form. I'm going to go with point slope form, just to practice it again. Pick one of your points and use your slope, and let's use point slope form. So it's y minus negative 3 equals m, negative 2, parentheses x minus 2. Simplify and solve for y. Y plus 3 equals negative 2x plus 4. Subtract 3 from both sides. So y equals negative 2x plus 1. Alright, let's do one more. This will be our last one for today. So we have the points 2, 5 and negative 1, 3. 2, 5 and negative 1, 3. We want to write the equation of the line. And again, I don't care if you use slope intercept form or point slope form. But if we have two order pairs, we first have to find the slope. Okay, so let's start with that. So we do 3 minus 5. Divided by negative 1 minus 2. 3 minus 5 is negative 2 over negative 3, which is a positive 2/3. With this slope alone, I can eliminate answer choice A and answer choice D. So now let's find our y-intercept. This time I'll use slope intercept form. So we have M, let's find B. So I'll use one of my ordered pairs. I'm going to use 2, 5, and I'll use a slope of 2/3. So 5 equals 2/3 times 2 plus B. So 4/3 plus B. Subtract 4/3 from both sides. So B equals, use your calculator here, 5 minus 4/3. Minus parentheses 4 divided by 3. Would you get 11/3? So now that we have the slope and we have the y-intercept, write your equation. Y equals 2/3 x plus 11/3. How many of you are thinking the point slope form is going to be your favorite now? Anybody? Anybody think slope intercept form you still like that way? And that's okay too. You guys pick, and I'll do it up here. Alright, do whatever you think is best. Alright, that's where we're going to stop for today. Again, we're practicing writing equations. We want to ultimately have our equation in slope intercept form, and like I said, I do not care if you use point slope form or use slope intercept form. Whichever way works best for you is fine. We are on page 87 in your textbook. the 87 numbers 8 through 15 and 17 through 22.